Hello, this is Steve Martin coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. You like my new studio? I'm actually in our front living room. Overlooking my shoulder is a painting my good wife's father out of Windsor did while he was still with us, and it's the Bell of Bethlehem. I believe he went to Bethlehem, Israel in the 1980s, and he came back, and as he did every year, usually during the winter, he would paint a personal, special painting. And when he passed on, now living in glory with my father, Louis, he left behind several paintings, which the three Unziker daughters inherited once their mom, Lorraine, passed on a few years ago. And so we are blessed to have the Bell of Bethlehem here in our home. And as you can see on my right shoulder are some of his Bibles, which you also have in our front living room. This video message, I want to talk to you about Jerusalem. I recently posted a blog message, which I called Now Think on This, and it was entitled Jerusalem. Very simple, and it has been received very well. I want to share my personal excitement, my personal experiences in the capital city of Israel, and some of the friends that I've made over these many years. 15 trips to Israel, you tend to get to know some of the people, and that's primarily the reason we go. I believe it was in 1989 when I was on the board with Christian Friends of Israel here in Charlotte, Hanala Pardain. I was able to go with the tour that year in May, and on a Friday, right before Shabbat started, the Ben Yehuda shops were starting to prepare for Shabbat when sundown came. They actually started a couple hours prior to that, and I happened to be walking in to one of the shops. It was called Golden Jerusalem. I wanted to get some Judaica from my family, friends, bring it back and share the joy of Israel in their homes. And there was I was going to say young man, but actually he's probably in his 70s. He was a smaller man, that's what I should say. His name was Avraham, and I didn't know that. I was just looking around in his shop, and he started pulling out these note cards and asked me if I would help him make a phone call to the US. He had tried several times and couldn't seem to get the connection made, and he was trying to reach someone in Johns Island, South Carolina. Found out later that's south of Charleston, where my sister Mary and her husband live. And when I did that, I made a connection right at first. He was a bit amazed. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, South Carolina time, so the guy on the other end wasn't too excited. But hey, you do what you do, huh? Anyway, Abraham was so blessed that I was able to help him that night he invited me to his home to have a Shabbat meal. I had never done that. The Jewish man from Iran, he made Aliyah in the 1940s, I believe. He invited me to his home in Jerusalem. So after the shop closed down, I rode with him in his vehicle, and I met his wife, Dahlia. Actually, that's his daughter. His wife and his two sons, who also had shops on Ben Yehuda Street, were there in his home. And I had Shabbat meal with them, which was great. Afterwards, it was getting dark, and I did not have a way home, and being on Shabbat, he did not drive. I was going to walk. I'm glad I did not, because when I found out it was at least a 5-mile hike, I was wondering what to do. He offered to have me stay the night. And I said, Abraham, I'm really not prepared for that. I should get back. I need to make contact. But he said, come on, stay. So I did, slept on the couch. And in the morning, he paid for a taxi driver. I'm sure it was an Arab man. And he took me back to our lodging there in Jerusalem with the Christian Friends of Israel tour group. Since then, every time I go to Jerusalem, I specifically go to Ben Yehuda Street. For those who have been there, you know the shops along the way. There's Danny Boy, good friends with him. There's David and David, David and Dan. That's the sons of Avraham, Saiden, also on Ben Yehuda Street. There's another man who I get all my hoodies from, and you may have seen those. I bring them back, pass them out to the kids, grandkids, and friends. I support the shop owners along Ben Yehuda. So anyway, every year I go back to Jerusalem. I specifically stop in and see Avraham, Danny Boy, David, Dan, Dahlia. They're all the shop owners along the street there. That's one of the things we support Israel, is because of the friendships that we made. And it's just a joy for them when they see Americans and others from across these lands come and show their love and support for their people. It is exciting. It is exciting to know that the living God of Israel, Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, is very much so involved with the land. If you were to see Israel in 1948 when they became a state, actually they've been a nation for 2,000-3,000 years since King David. If you would see from what it was then and what it is now, you'd be amazed at what the Lord has done in their midst. They are flourishing, blossoming. They are protecting themselves with the hand of the Lord upon them. They are being a light to the nations. Just the medical and technological advancements that they are producing. Microsoft is a large facility there. Other technical companies have moved there because they realize just how the living God is working through those people, the Jewish people, our friends. I encourage you to join those who go on tours, even if it's your first time, one time, or again. There's several friends here, even in Charlotte, who have tours to Israel. Kathy Hargett with Highway to Zion, Peter Wenz with Antioch International Church, and Christians for Messiah Ministries. There are several others who I personally know, Hanala Pardain, Christian Friends of Israel. They regularly take tours to Israel. I would encourage you to join. I myself am planning another trip in October of next year. Our purpose is to primarily connect Israel with international pastors and pastors with Israel from Nigeria, India. We hope to provide a means for them to come and get to know the people there. I'm thankful to be sharing this time with you. I hope you tune in each time I do this. I don't do it as much as I probably could. I do it when I feel the Lord has something for me to say, so you don't get bored. Anyway, check out our website, loveforhispeople.blogspot.com. We daily post news articles from Israel. We are on the verge of becoming an affiliate with one of the major news organizations there out of the Jerusalem area. I'm excited about that. We post prophetic words that are shared on the Elijah List, Identity Network, and of course news from around the world. And my Now Think on This messages. So check us out. We're good to be with you. Shalom. Bye.